Welcome to Supreme Catholic Meme, where we take faith seriously. You've probably heard that Catholics don't eat meat on Fridays during Lent. But have you ever wondered why? Is it just an old school rule? Or is there something deeper behind it? Today, we're breaking it all down. History, theology, and even some fun facts you might not know. Let's get into it. Lent is a significant period in the Catholic Church that calls for prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. One of the most well-known Lenten practices is abstaining from meat on Fridays. But why do Catholics follow this tradition? This article delves into the historical, theological, and spiritual reasons behind this practice, exploring its origins, significance, and how it continues to shape Catholic devotion today. The tradition of abstaining from meat on Fridays dates back to the early centuries of Christianity. The practice is rooted in the idea of penance and sacrifice, reflecting Christ's suffering and crucifixion on Good Friday. The Bible does not explicitly command abstinence from meat on Fridays, but fasting and abstinence are common themes in Christian teachings. Several passages emphasize the importance of self-discipline and sacrifice. Matthew 9:15, Jesus speaks about fasting when the bridegroom himself is taken away. 1 Corinthians 9:27, St. Paul discusses disciplining the body to grow spiritually. Daniel 10:3, Daniel abstains from rich foods as an act of penance. The Catholic Church, through sacred tradition, has upheld the practice as a way to unite with Christ's suffering. Historical development. By the 2nd century, Christians were already practicing fasting and abstinence, particularly on Fridays. The custom became more formalized in the Middle Ages when the Church mandated abstinence from meat on all Fridays of the year. Over time, this was relaxed, limiting the requirement to Fridays during Lent. Meat has historically been considered a luxury associated with feasting and celebration. By abstaining from it, Catholics make a small sacrifice in remembrance of Christ's ultimate sacrifice. Additionally, in biblical times, meat was often linked to animal sacrifices in religious rituals. By avoiding it, Catholics symbolically detach themselves from worldly indulgences and focus on spiritual nourishment. Why fish is allowed? Fish is permitted because it was a common food for the poor in ancient times and was not considered a luxury. Additionally, Christ's apostles were fishermen, and fish is frequently mentioned in the Gospels, such as in the miracle of the multiplication of loaves and fishes, Matthew 14:13-21. The spiritual significance of Lenten abstinence? A form of penance. Lenten abstinence is a way for Catholics to practice self-denial, fostering humility and discipline. It serves as a reminder of Christ's suffering and encourages believers to offer their sacrifices for the good of others. By abstaining from meat, Catholics are reminded of the struggles of the less fortunate. This practice encourages acts of charity and compassion, reinforcing the Lenten call to almsgiving. Refraining from meat is not just about following a rule. It is about growing in faith. It prompts Catholics to reflect on their spiritual journey and draw closer to God through prayer, fasting, and good works. Church guidelines. The Catholic Church's current guidelines on abstinence include: Catholics aged 14 and older must abstain from meat on Ash Wednesday and all Fridays of Lent. Fasting, 1 full meal and 2 smaller meals, is required on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday for Catholics aged 18 to 59. Those with health conditions or other serious reasons may be exempt. Alternative sacrifices. In some regions, bishops allow Catholics to substitute another form of penance if they cannot abstain from meat. This could include giving up a favorite food or drink, performing acts of charity, spending extra time in prayer or scripture reading. Common misconceptions. Is eating meat on a Lenten Friday a sin? Yes, deliberately eating meat on a Friday during Lent without a valid reason is considered a sin. However, if done out of ignorance or necessity, it is not a mortal sin. Does abstinence apply to all meats? Yes, it includes land animals such as beef, pork, chicken, and lamb. However, fish, shellfish, and plant-based foods are allowed. Why do some Catholics eat meat on Fridays outside of Lent? The Church previously required abstinence on all Fridays, but in 1966, Pope Paul VI allowed bishops to determine local practices. In many places, Catholics can substitute another form of penance outside of Lent. What about meat-based broths and sauces? The Church generally allows foods flavored with meat, such as broths or gravies, as long as the actual meat is not consumed. However, some Catholics choose to avoid them as an extra sacrifice. Can Catholics eat meat if they forget it's Friday? If a Catholic unintentionally eats meat, there is no sin. However, if they remember later, they can offer another form of penance to make up for it. The tradition of abstaining from meat on Fridays during Lent is a deeply rooted practice in the Catholic faith. It serves as a reminder of Christ's sacrifice, encourages spiritual discipline, and fosters a sense of solidarity with those in need. While the practice has evolved over time, its core purpose remains the same: to help Catholics grow in faith and devotion. By understanding the history and significance of this tradition, Catholics can observe it with greater awareness and appreciation, making Lent a truly transformative season. So there you have it. Abstaining from meat on Fridays isn't just about fish sticks and tuna melts. It's a powerful way to grow in faith, honor Christ's sacrifice, and practice self-discipline. What do you think? Is this an easy practice for you? Or do you struggle with it? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this and want more Catholic insights with a side of humor, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss future videos. Until next time, stay holy, stay humble, and keep those Lenten sacrifices strong. God bless.